When people ask me about Starbase, one of the common questions I get is, Jack, what is the combat within the game like? It's a great question, because as a sci-fi sandbox, many of us immediately compare it to Space Engineers, which has some interesting combat, shall we say. So let's take a look at Starbase's combat systems and how it works. Hey everyone, my name is Captain Jack and welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking more about the upcoming game, Starbase. Specifically, we'll be taking a look at combat within the game as much as we can. Small disclaimer as we jump into it, Starbase is an in-development game, therefore some of the information I share with you today may change over time as development of the game progresses. Just thought to note that down in case this is out of date in a couple of months. Quick one, if you're looking to join a Starbase faction for the game, then I invite you to come and join myself. We've just started up and we're currently assembling via my Discord. Please use the link in the description below. Once you're in, you can claim a free special Discord rank to show your affiliation with the clan. I hope to see you there. We're putting a lot of effort into the RWI Starbase faction at the moment, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be great fun to have many of you running around inside the game with us. Okay, so let's talk combat then. Today I'll be looking at ship combat and FPS combat, as both will play a big part in the gameplay of Stellaris. Attacking ships is one thing, but you'll also be able to board starships and stations and fight other players with a variety of weapons, including my favourite, the shotgun. First, I'll be talking about ship weapons and how combat works with them, as many of you asked me about this, so let's dive into it. Fixed weapons are a thing inside the game. There is a certain element of player design involved, meaning how you place them on a ship will matter, though I think that's kind of common sense in a way. If you place them backwards, that might not go so well, or it might, I don't know, experiment with it and let me know. There are a few different weapon types so far in the fixed range. First, there is the autocannon. The autocannon is kind of basic in its approach to being a weapon. With its fast rate of fire and wide effective damage, I'd say these are going to be quite common on most small attack craft. The ammunition type for this weapon is bullets, as you would have guessed. Now we also have laser cannons. To best describe this weapon, I looked to the official Starbase Wikia, link in the description, which mentions that laser cannons are generally used in warfare to take out fast and agile spaceships. Featuring a very fast rate of fire but a small damage spread, the laser cannon sounds like an interesting choice for those wanting to hunt fast ships. The ammo type for this weapon would be energy cells, or it can be fed from a reactor or another external power source if needed. Along with this, a plasma thrower sounds like a unique weapon type. This weapon is also another energy based design. Its rate of fire is slow and the damage spread is slow as well. It makes me think you're going to need to get close to use this type of weapon to do some actual damage to the ship or station you're targeting. The damage type for this weapon is described as fracture, and the ammunition type is once again energy based. Rail cannons are another weapon type within the game. This seems like a traditional railgun given that it is single shot and slow to fire. The damage spread is none, meaning this is very much like a railgun in the idea that it'll pierce anything it's aimed at. The rail cannon requires a charge up before it can be fired, kind of reminding me of the Mac gun from Halo. Now while it's not on the Wikia, the developers have mentioned that there are flak guns in development currently. As well as flak, missile weaponry is in development as well. Missile types could include swarm, charge and torpedoes. Though, as this is in development, it could all change when early access rolls around. Weapon modularity is something being looked at right now, as many have asked for it. The developers have mentioned that ship weapons are designed to be modular to a point, though it is unlikely that different versions featuring aspects like faster fire rate will make it into early access of Starbase. What is key to take note of is the fact that every part of the ship weapon has its own role that could be tweaked for different variations. Personally, I find the idea of this really cool, as you're going to find some players really tweaking weapons to get the most performance and damage out of them. Maybe there'll be like safety limits on them. Once bypassed, you're at risk of damaging your own ships or systems. Just a cool idea I had while writing this video. So that is ship weapon types so far. Now obviously armour is going to play into ship combat, as you're going to need something to withstand all these weapons being fired at your ship, or you. If you're going to be resisting weapon damage, you're going to need the armour value stat, which is your most important. You'll find armour value of an object is given by its material type and the object's mass at the time. If you're resisting small arms fire, maybe from a boarding party, then a large plate made out of a strong material can act as a shield and withstand some fire for a certain amount of time. We've seen this in a few videos of gameplay where player robots can pick up plates to defend themselves and even charge down corridors deflecting fire. Now while that answer is mostly focused on resisting small arms fire, what about resisting starship weapons fire? Well, I would presume that armor value also plays a part in that. The developers have mentioned there are plans to introduce weight of material, so players can have heavy armor plating or go light, so slower or faster moving ships really. I'd love to see some really heavily armored warships in combat, maybe some Battlestar Galactica recreates where you've got these really big beefy warships that can take massive hits. I'm not sure, it depends what the player comes up with, but I'd love to see what people can come up with. The armor plating system of Starbase is super cool, as there are various materials which have tons of variables for how they react to damage of all types. By damage types, I mean the weapons we spoke about earlier, like energy or bullets for example. One would presume that armor to resist energy weapons is going to be different than armor to resist bullets, as they're kind of different damage types. That's kind of what the gist I'm getting anyway. Another cool feature that is in development is the need for certain materials for certain activities. So some starships will need specific armor reinforcement types to navigate things like dust clouds and nebulas, which will eventually be planned for the game. Eventually you'll also need specific armor for landing as well. Now this could relate to the idea of needing specific armor types to resist specific types of damage as well, but I also expect there'll be some more just basic heavy and light armor to go with in case you don't want to go that specific down the route. In my opinion, this area could be expanded on, but as I mentioned before, Starbase is a constantly in development game, therefore we'll most likely learn more about the ship-to-ship combat very soon. I fully expect them to release an in-development video about ship-to-ship combat, as many of you have been asking for it now, so it's only a matter of time till the devs hear us and actually release the video. Now many of you asked me about the idea of shields having a place in the combat of Starbase. While we didn't see any in the announcement trailer for the game, they could come at a later date, and rightly so. Shields are a very big part of sci-fi, so not having them in the game is very interesting. Let's see what a developer said. Now one developer mentioned that shields could be in the game in the future, but at the moment they're not a part of the game and the developers are instead waiting to see what players come up with in regards to traditional ship designs first. I personally like the idea of this, as shields can sometimes really throw out design styles, so first let's explore what we can do with a unique Starbase building style before adding shields in my own opinion. Though I'm interested, let me know what you think. Do you think shields should be in Starbase right away, or do you think the developers should indeed wait some time before adding shields? Now a few of you commented saying, what can we do about people boarding our ships and running off of them? This is a great question. We know that boarding a Starbase is going to be a key combat strategy. So as players, how can we resist it? The obvious idea would be to have a strike team on board, but if you don't have some elite soldiers hanging around, I would most likely say blast doors and security systems are your go-to option. The developers have said they're still deciding and discussing on the best way to secure your ship from boarders, as at the moment players can just get on and get to a pilot seat and fly away, though they are keen on designing gameplay around this topic, which is great to hear. Personally, what I would love to see is hacking inside of Starbase. So if you're going to board a ship, you're going to have to hack it. The idea of players who board having to hack a pilot seat and bridge systems in order to control the ship that they've just boarded, though you could shoot your way through it, if your aim is to steal it, you're not going to want to smash it to bits in the process. I would like to see the idea of, hacking into subsystems of a ship, so, if the enemies board your ship and get to the engine room, they can take your engines offline by hacking into the systems, even though you've still got a bridge. I don't know, it would add interesting gameplay dynamics to it. I really would like to see more. Alright, well I think I've covered the core of ship weapons and armor systems today, but if you have any more questions and are keen to learn more, I encourage you to check out the link in the video description, as well as commenting on this video, as I can try to answer some of your questions. Small arm weapons were recently covered in a development video by Starbase, which I'll link below in the video description. I'll keep this segment brief. Starbase offers a variety of player weapons for you to shoot your enemies with, or friends. Some of my favourites include the shotgun, which sounds super cool for boarding starships, as well as the arc lighter, which is a rapidly firing weapon that shoots electric energy at your targets. Sparky. For those who like to go OTT in the weapon department, a flamethrower is an option as well as a minigun. Yeah, some serious weapons in Starbase. I can't wait to see people rushing around using these weapons to blow each other up. It is going to be chaos. Now the weapons do work as you would expect. You can aim down the sights of certain guns, and most of them have custom clip loadouts. There will be some variety of ammunition for different weapon types, but it's still being designed at the moment. Also, I should mention, I did see something like customizing weapon types for new skins or layouts, so you could see you have like faction specific weapons or something like that. I'm not sure, it still seems there's a lot currently in development around small arm types, so I expect we'll see more very soon. Oh, I almost forgot, melee weapons are a thing in the game. Currently there is only the pickaxe, which can be super deadly when you smash a robot around the back of the head, but I wouldn't be surprised if we saw more melee weapons in the future. I know I would love a sword. Seriously, robots with swords, what's not to love? Frozenbite, if you're listening, I want to see a sword soon. Anyway, that wraps up my information on Starbase today. A big thank you to everyone for supporting these videos of mine. I am so excited to check out Starbase very soon and can't wait to share my experiences with you all. Once again, if you are looking for a faction within Starbase, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel here and come and join the Discord channel via the link below. I'm actually currently in the process of setting up a developer interview with the Starbase team, so for any burning questions you have, drop them in the comment section below and I'll try and get some answers for you. In the meantime, I've been Captain Jack, thank you for watching this video. If you are new to the channel, then make sure to subscribe for up-to-date Starbase content. I'll catch you next time, goodbye.